So this video is going to be whether or not Stamina Break will be a viable move in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Are stamina breaks actually useful? That is a great question. Well, I wonder what else is actually useful. Have I been lied to my entire life? Are Ki Blasts actually useful? Oh my gosh, I have to make a video on this topic. Everybody, I'm going to tackle a very hard-hitting subject, and there's one thing I need for all of you to do right now. Make sure you ring my bell. What is up, people of all different types of ages, races, genders, and yes, even you other species out there watching this video. Shout outs to my boy Kuba. I'm just poking a little bit of fun at my boy. Feel free to check him out, link in the description. But anyway, what I'm going to be talking about in this video are Ki Blasts and how important they really are. A lot of people don't really utilize Ki Blasts, or when they do, they use them in a high pressure situation. What I mean by this is that they'll be very weak and they might be losing a game, or they might break the glass, whatever the case may be, and then they start spamming Ki Blasts. But Ki Blasts, like all good things, must come in moderation. If you're spamming Ki Blasts, you're gonna leave yourself wide open. That's probably why a lot of people don't use them, because they realize that, hey, if I sit here and I'm pressing circle and spamming Ki Blasts, it takes a little bit to recover from that, and during that recovery time, you can actually get pretty messed up. However, if you're using them wisely, you're gonna notice that your gameplay is gonna get a lot better. So what do I mean by using them wisely? Well, there are a few different instances in which you can utilize Ki Blasts to help yourself out. The first instance is one that I use a lot at the end of a combo. Instead of hard committing, or especially if my enemy has a lot of stamina, what I'll do is, once I do the knock away on any given character, is I'll use a little bit of Ki Blast. That might be, for depending on what character you're using, that might be 3, it might be 5, however many Ki Blasts that you can fit into a combo that won't leave you completely wide open. Because what'll happen sometimes is that after you use a Ki Blast, your opponent can roll out, and if you're still using Ki Blast, they can dash in at you and deal a lot of damage to you that way. So like, if an opponent is letting me combo them because they don't want to get hit by like a super or anything like that, or they want to save their stamina in case I try to go for a stamina break, so that way they can Z vanish, I can end that combo with some Ki Blast just to get that extra damage off. It's not going to be a lot of damage, but every little bit counts in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So like, something that a lot of my opponents like to do, that I find online anyway, is that they're very conservative with their Z vanishes. So they don't want to use their stamina unnecessarily. So unless they feel like I'm about to hit them with a big combo or a big ultimate or something like that, they generally will save their stamina until a more appropriate time. So what I can do is, after I knock them away, instead of following up and getting them to use some of their stamina to Z vanish, especially if I'm weak on stamina myself, I can space them out by just using Ki Blasts. And another great way to use Ki Blasts that I've seen a lot be used online, and that I'm trying to introduce into my own gameplay, is using them to extend combos. And this is the most useful way to be using your Ki Blasts. So like, one of the ways you can combo with Ki Blasts that I found anyway is after you use Stamina Break. So when you're stamina breaking somebody and you do a certain combo with a certain character, they might be falling or something like that, and what you can do is you can actually knock them back up by using Ki Blast, and then you can dash forward a little bit and extend your combo even further. This works great on stamina broken enemies, obviously, because they can't really defend themselves, they just have to sit there and kind of take it. Whereas sometimes without the Ki Blast, they'll fall all the way to the ground and then force you to try to pop them off the ground and continue a combo that way. There's a lot of different ways in which it can be used, and that was one of the instances that I found it to be most useful. However, even if you're not stamina breaking your opponent, you can still extend combos by using the Ki Blast. So if an opponent tends to roll out of your combos a lot, or roll out of a super, or whatever the case may be, if they're rolling in that animation, you can hit them with Ki Blast and then dash forwards towards them and actually follow up with the combo, again, putting a lot of pressure on your opponent. A lot of fighting games boil down to how much pressure you can put on the other person that you're fighting. Somebody that is very, very aggressive and uses a lot of their arsenal to be a pest and pressure the other person generally comes out on top, especially if you're just playing a ranked or maybe even a casual game. A lot of casual players don't know how to deal with that pressure. Now, of course, if you're going up against somebody of your own skill level, then they can out pressure you for being too much into the pressure game, or they can play it a little bit more patiently and force you to trip up. So there's a lot of different ways you can condition your opponent to start doing things, but I think Ki Blasts are still going to be an essential way to up your game and make your gameplay stand out that much more. What Ki Blasts are actually not that useful for is trying to chip out your opponent when they have a little bit amount of health left. I've done this, I know others have done this as well. They have just a sliver of health left, so you think, hey man, maybe a few Ki Blasts will take them out. The answer is either going to be they're going to evade your Ki Blast and come at you and then end up fucking you, or your Ki Blast is not going to do enough damage. Now, obviously, there are instances where the Ki Blast will finish them off, but you got to know for 100% fact that one, you can hit them with this Ki Blast, and two, that it will actually kill them if you manage to land it. There's nothing worse than having that battle won and they're almost defeated and you go for the Ki Blast, but you use one too many Ki Blasts. Your character now has to recover from that, and then they dash towards you and finish you off. And that just feels awful. So just to reiterate, I think Ki Blasts are what is gonna separate a good player from a great player. I do think they're that important, but they're not of that importance level where you should be trying to condition yourself to do bad things just to try to get Ki Blasts working. They have to be a natural thing. You have to know and you have to feel it out and be like, okay, now I know I can use Ki Blasts. So the best way to do this is to hop in training mode or maybe do some private matches with a friend of yours or something like that and try to figure these things out, because they're going to be different for every character. Some characters can combo very easily into Ki Blasts, other ones are going to have to work a little bit more hard for it, but you can find Ki Blasts that are going to help your game out. And I honestly think that this is going to be a great tactic to make yourself stand out against other people. If you've ever seen somebody use Ki Blasts to just string together crazy amounts of combos, you already know what this thing can do, and they can do more than what I've mentioned here. So again, one of the biggest tips I can give you guys is try out Ki Blasts. Don't be afraid to use them. They might not seem that useful, but trust me, they are. Anyway, that was my video. Yes, Ki Blasts are actually useful, so you should use them, as well as stamina breaks. Anyway, my name is OmegaPro. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving it a like rating, you know what I'm saying, family? Leave a comment down below. How have you found Ki Blasts useful? Let me know what you guys have figured out about Ki Blasts or anything else, really. Subscribe here if you're new. We've got Xenoverse 2 all the time. My name's OmegaPro, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Peace, peace.